In this video, I'm going to show you how to factorize quadratic expressions, and in particular, really easy ones. There'll be a couple of videos I'll make here. Anyway, so one of the questions you might get might look a bit like something like this. Factorize something like x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now, remembering factorizing is the opposite of expanding. So you're basically taking a quadratic expression and you're putting it back into brackets. And usually there's two brackets, but there are some special cases which we'll go over in a separate video. So the key point here is we need to, they're actually, quadratics come in a format of what we call ax squared plus bx plus c. So you can see here when we look at our example x squared plus 5x plus 6, our a value is actually 1. Our b value is plus 5 and our c value is 6. And because our a value is 1, we don't need to worry too much about other steps, which we'll go over later in a different video. What we're looking at is the b value and the c value. And we're looking for factor pairs that multiply to give us our c value, in this case it's 6, that add to give us our b value, which is 5. So the way we do this is we have a look at our c value, which in this case is our 6, and we think, what are the factor pairs of 6? So what two numbers multiply together to give 6, positive 6? Well, you've got 1 and 6, so 1 times 6 equals 6, of course, and you've got 2 and 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. Now, there are two more numbers that multiply to give 6, two more whole numbers. Can you think what they are? Well, I'll give you a clue. -1 and -6, well, they multiply to give positive 6. So therefore, -2 and -3 also multiply to give positive 6. So now what we do is we've found all the factor pairs of our c value. In this case, it's 6. So now we look at these factor pairs that we've got here and we say, well, which one of those pairs now add to give us this number here, our b value, which in this case is positive 5. So 1 plus 6 equals 7, so it's not that one. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Oh, it could be that one. We'll just double check. -1 minus 6 is equal to -7, so it's not that one. And -2 minus 3 is equal to -5. Well, we're looking for positive 5, so therefore it must be 2 and 3. So all you simply do there is we would then go x, open up a bracket, plus 2, x plus 3, and that's our answer. That's that x squared plus 5x plus 6 factorized. And you can always double check your work by using your FOIL method or your box method to check that your answer is right by re-expanding them out. So x times x, of course, is x squared. 2 times x is plus 2x. X times 3 is plus 3x. And of course, 2 times 3 is plus 6. And if we simplify our like terms, we go back to our answer again. So that's how you factorize a quadratic expression. Now, we're going to go on to the next page because we just need to cover off things like negatives and things like that. So on this page, we're just going to do some other examples here. So if we have the question and we've been asked to factorize, okay, and we'll say x squared, we'll say plus 4x, and then this time we'll go minus 21. Okay, so that's our equation. Factorize x squared plus 4x minus 21. So remembering with the last video, I said to you, what you need to do is find the two terms that multiply to give us -21 that add to give us 4. Now we can do this because our a value here in the x squared is 1. If it was something else, we couldn't do this. We'd be doing something different. Anyway, so let's list out the factor pairs of 21. So we've got 1 and negative 21, remembering that this is a negative, so one of the terms has to be a negative. And the only other factor pair of 21, of course, is, we could have the opposite of that. We could have -1 and 21 because they both multiply to give 21. Or we could have 3 and -7, or -3 and 7, couldn't we? All of these here multiply to give -21, and there's no other factor pairs of 21. So which out of these, when we add them together, gives us +4? Well, it's obviously not the 1 and -21 or the -1 and 21. If we go 3 minus 7, that gives us -4, doesn't it? And we want +4, so therefore it must be -3 and 7. So therefore our answer here is x, whoops, just go back there, x minus 3, x plus 7. And of course, if you re-expand that out, you'll get back to your answer there. Okay, the next question we're going to look at, and I'll just put a line here so we don't get mixed up here. Factorise x squared minus 9x plus 20. So we go through the same process again. What are the factor pairs of 20? +20. So you've got 20 and 1. And you've got the negative versions of those, haven't you? -1 and -20, because it's a positive number. So therefore you could have both being positive or both being negative. You've got 2 and 10, and of course it's negative versions. 3s don't go into 20, 4s do. So you've got 4 and 5, and you've got -4 and -5. So those are your factor pairs of 20. So now what you have to do is try and find which of those factor pairs adds to -9. So 1 plus 20, that's obviously not. -1 plus -20 is -21. -2 and -10 is -12. Well, here we go, -4 minus 5. Well, that equals -9. So therefore our answer is x minus 4, x minus 5. Now, you don't have to put these brackets in numerical order as long as you've got the signs right for them, and that's fine, because x minus 4 in brackets, x minus 5 in brackets is the same as x minus 5 in brackets and x minus 4, so long as you've got the signs correct. And I'll do a separate video for some of the special cases of factorising quadratics.